the Vols, the Big Orange. We now, just so everybody knows, we'll go, if you want a more in-depth look at our prediction for the 2023 season, you can go watch that on our channel. I'll try to remember to put a link to it in the description of this video when we're done. But we have a video already out that we predict. We go game by game through the whole season, and we strongly encourage everybody to go watch that. It's done pretty well. It's got, I don't know, I can't remember how many, it's a few thousand at least views. I think last time it was up around 15 or 20,000. So that's cool. So I strongly encourage everybody to go check out our season prediction video. I'm loving some of the predictions already coming in, but Rustin, tell us your prediction for Tennessee.
So I would absolutely love to be 15-0. That would be phenomenal. It would be a season for the ages. I just don't think it's doable. Too many things happen. The ball bounces weird. There's too much parity at the top. I would rather be 11-1 in the regular season and coast into the playoffs. I think there's also a benefit to even possibly losing to Georgia in that regular season game, because once Josh Heupel can see how Georgia wants to play them and pick apart the weaknesses, now he's got a tailor-made game plan for the game that really matters in the playoffs. And again, if we can go 15-0, by all means, go 15-0, win everything you see. That would be phenomenal. But if that's not possible, I would rather be 11-1 in the regular season, walk into the playoffs unscathed and healthy and ready with a game plan for the one team that beat us, and win the national championship, because the SEC championship means nothing.
Well, two things there. Number one, you mentioned if they play Georgia, not if they play, but when they play Georgia, if they play them again in the playoff, let's be totally honest, that's going to be in the championship game. Because one thing that we have seen the playoff committee do is they will not put two teams in the same conference in a semifinal game. We've seen that happen twice now in the playoff system. They strategically moved the seeding to where two teams, and it was the SEC both times, two teams in the SEC won't play each other in the semifinal game, which is why Rustin earlier said that Tennessee would probably be a 3 seed in the playoff if they were to lose to Georgia, because that means they would be playing the 2 seed, because Georgia would be the 1 seed, assuming they win the SEC championship game. And I totally agree. And I don't think, I don't think Rustin is saying that the SEC championship, I don't think he is saying that it means absolutely nothing. Of course, everybody likes winning the SEC championship, but in the grand scheme of things, I think he's saying if you had to pick, you'd probably rather play for a national championship. And so it is interesting. Obviously, everybody would love to go 15-0. Everybody would love that. It's just really, really tough to do. It's extremely difficult to do. So I have Tennessee going 11-1, but I have them losing one game, and that's at Bama, just because it's at Bama, and they're going to have that game circled. And I mean, it's going to be crazy down there. And so in my scenario, that means Tennessee's in the SEC championship game. Now, here's what scares me about my scenario. If Tennessee loses to Alabama and they make it to the SEC championship game, the way that I picked the rest of the season, they would play Alabama again in the SEC championship game under my scenario, my predictions. I don't want to play Bama twice in one season, but I would rather play them on a neutral site than at Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
And so, that could be in Tennessee's favor going into that game, and it would be on turf, and we're running the ball, chucking it up and down the field the whole game long. So they're hopefully that rematch would work out in Tennessee's favor, but that's the way that I currently have it. So it is interesting. It's very interesting. We have Tennessee both going 11-1. And it almost could be that the easier path to the playoff is losing to Georgia and not going to the SEC championship game. The best thing would just be beat everybody and go 15-0. I hope that happens. But it is interesting to think about what would be the easier path to the SEC championship game. And I think it's important that we're not the only people who have thought that way tonight. There was a Georgia fan on here earlier who commented, Doug. He's our good friend, Doug. And Doug said that he thinks Tennessee's beat Georgia in Neyland, but that's going to allow Georgia into the back door in the playoff. Like he sees that too from the other perspective. It's just fascinating how, I guess we just need to say we just need to go 15-0 and not leave it up to anybody's decision. Don't just take it out of the committee's hands. You just go 15-0. Hopefully that happens.